So this blockade and now the counter blockade and the vegetables are being burned. I mean, so what more can go wrong in a state?
Yes, Karthik, and I just could come to know that is this counter economic blockade has started. And it is blockade versus blockade. And the standoff on this national highway. And in fact, the conflict between both Naga community and Kukijo community is expanding. Things are becoming very murkier and very, in fact, it's a volatile situation. The essential commodities are not coming neither to Maitis, nor to Nagas, nor to Kukis. Things are pretty bad. Earlier, I also told you, Mr. Karthikeyan, that national highway can remain open. Definitely, it can remain open if government thinks so. If they take a decision that yes, we can keep it open, it can. I do not know having 302 companies of forces. What is happening at Ukhrul? What is happening at Kamjong? What is happening at Kankopi? Things are pretty bad. It is not Naga versus Kuki. It is, in fact, all Manipuris are suffering for last so many days, so many months after these three padris were murdered on this Tiger Road. Things are pretty bad. I can well tell you this economic blockade which has started in three places, that in Kankopi, Kamjong, and also in Ukhrul, that has been definitely done because essential commodities were not reaching cookie areas, and that is how cookies have come forward in blocking this particular in three zones. What can be done by the government, that it is not a question of mighty Nagas or cookies. We have to use force. I repeat, we have to use force. There is no question of having any understanding as far as essential goods are concerned. Things must run easily on national highway, and essential commodities must
Okay.
reach to Manipur.
I'll come to
I
that.
repeat to
How
Manipur.
can that be done? Let me
Yes.
go to Professor Mao first. Sir, your opening comments on this counter blockade. I mean, sir, this is amazing. There's a blockade, then there's a
Yeah.
counter blockade. Can you unmute yourself, Professor Mao? Can you unmute yourself? Yes. Yes. Have you unmuted yourself? Please unmute yourself. Mr. Sapam, you take the question.
Kartikeya, thank you so much for having me in your show, and thank you to and my salute to both the panelists. What Sir Mishra has said, in addition to that, it's a very sad thing that we are having, this kind of situation in Manipur. I was just thinking, like, there was a lady driver who came from Tamil Nadu and came to reach Imphal. And the agony she must have come across, a lady driver from Tamil Nadu coming to, this small state, that tiny state, so much of complications, the road conditions are so bad, it's very frustrating. And the groups, basically, I think they must have they must have understood now. The Kuki brothers, the Naga brothers, and all this thing, blockade is there on National Highway 2, and the anti-blockade is there in National Highway 202 by the Kuki. So the difficulties, the agony the people are facing, the communities who are facing, as it is, the Maitais have been facing this blockade since a very long time, since time I came to know. So, as Sir has said, to solve this problem, you cannot be this way or that way. There's a danda zaruri hai. Let's see what's happening in UP. There was when I was posted in Lucknow, Sitapur, a small place in Lucknow, was always in news for some crime somewhere or the other. Now it is absolutely quiet, yeah. So my big salute to the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. That kind of danda is required here also. It's a small state with a very few population, and you just can't control it, yeah. It's a very shameful thing. Shameful for the people who are here. The Chief Minister has to take action, and if the Chief Minister is not able to take action, he has to convince the central government at the central forces. And as I would say, an example has to be created. Example create नहीं करेगा, this will keep on going on. चलता है, होता है, this keep going like this. And finally, who are the common sufferers? They're sitting on this thing screen now. They are the people. We are the people who will suffer. So one has to be the government has to be very strong. I
Okay.
don't want any kind of this ban. Yeah, the national highway. Imagine that the national highway, when
Okay,
I
Mr.
drive
Sapam,
from Delhi.
let me go to ground zero, to Ukhrul, where Mercy Khongsai joins me. She is VP Admin KSO Ukhrul. Uh, Tell me why this blockade is happening, Mercy. I want to know, why is a blockade being organized? Everyone gets disturbed. Every supply gets, affected. You were affected. The Kukizo community were affected. Now you have organized a blockade.
Well, Kartikeya, so this is not our first choice. Let me make it very clear. This is not at all the first choice for the Kukizo community of Ukraine. And if we go a little back, since 8 February, there has been a selective economic blockade implemented against the Kukizos of Ukraine. At that time, the issue was not that large because the people of Ukraine, I mean specifically to mention the Kukizo people, can still go to Kangpopi or cycle to procure their essential needs. But after the blockade that has been implemented on NH2 at Senapati and also at Kanglatumbi, we have no choice. And on top of that, the selective economic blockade that has been implemented on the cookie zones have escalated in terms of places, in terms of magnitude, and we have tried all our level best at approaching every concerned authorities. And if you could remember, or if you are aware, on June 20th June, the Cookie Zoo of Ukraine staged a sit-in protest against the selective economic blockade. And that ended with just a verbal assurance from the Deputy Commissioner of Ukraine. And for a week or so, the people of, the Cookie Zoo people of Ukraine get minimal amount of essential commodities being transported to them. But 1 or 2 weeks back, this magnitude has increased. There has been an incident where the neutral drivers, the Pangals or the Nepalese who were transporting goods to the Kukizo people were threatened and were assaulted physically. And even now, two of them are hospitalized. And it has gone so deep rooted. People are, coordinating in such a manner that some groups are there at Saizang or Yangang Kopi monitoring the number of vehicles that is passing through NH202, and they are monitoring in such a way that these vehicles, none of them should be stopped at Kukizo dominated area. It has to reach Sokwao, where the groups who are enforcing selective economic blockade will confirm that yes, this many vehicle was flying from Imphal to Ukraine, and all of them have arrived the Tangkul dominated area. So in that manner, the selective economic blockade was so stringent, and the measures that we have taken, the cookie CSO working committee, we have approached the DC multiple times, and empty and false promises were no longer, in use for the general public who are suffering for their basic essential needs. This is when we decided that counter economic blockade must be launched. And as I have said earlier, this is not out of choice.
Okay,
We
Mercy.
have been
Okay,
left with no option.
I'll come to you. Let everyone make the point. Mr. Lamjatang Haupik, thank you for coming. Your opening comments. Mercy, you stay with me. Okay.
Thank you, Kartik. Yeah, you see, Manipur geographically cannot be separated or segregated, and Manipur cannot be, administratively also. It's not possible to be segregated or administered in a different way, and however, in any forms, even in terms of emotional separation, that is not happening. So the separation of Manipur, the people of Manipur, is next to impossible. Now they are blocking each other. these blockades are just only for a temporary kind of measures only, and these things needs to be understood by the our own people. Now, yeah, it's about highway politics, dominating each other, and trying to block each other, and this will not make the issues resolve. The core issues is their differences in terms of reserve forest, in terms of protected forest, and in terms of wetland, in terms of absence of land holding rights, and in terms of pending local self-government autonomous district council elections. And these are the core issues as a tribal. This has to be resolved first, and then only things will get into, when each and every citizen got an equal opportunity, then only things will be fine. Now today, you see who represents whom. Yeah, obviously it's the government. Now, the government of India, the central government, the BJP have devised a formula: one cookie quota for deputy CM, one cookie quota for Naga deputy CM. In that way, government of India is bringing a formula so that all the having a basis that it's a
But you know,
tri-ethnic like Kuki Naga
Lamjatang,
Meitei,
you know, the
they're
issue
coming up
is,
in that way. Now, if you look into it, politically speaking, this needs to be addressed.
I don't know what formula are they working on, but you know, the one thing which everyone had agreed upon in principle is that who gets where in the state should not be decided by CSOs. It's the job of the state, law
No,
enforcement agency.
Kartikeya, since those three groups are complaining that they are not getting equal representation, they are not getting equal
Okay,
opportunity in the eyes
let
of
me
the
take an
government.
opening comment from Professor Mao. Finally, he's back. I think that technical glitch has been addressed. Mr. Mao, Professor Mao, am I audible to you, sir?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so your
Yeah.
opening
Right.
comments on this counter cookie blockade, sir.
Yeah. Well, it is quite natural and logical that the cookies also have launched their counter blockade. If Nagas have launched, why not the cookies also launch their counter blockade? I think it is quite natural thing. But what is wrong is what it is. I have reliably learned that the governor and the chief secretary, by violating the Article 154, has practically taken
Sorry,
over the power of the chief minister and his council of ministers. As per Article 163 of the Indian Constitution, the governor has to act on the advice of the council of ministers. But what is happening in Manipur at the moment is the chief minister and his council of ministers, their powers have been completely taken over by the governor and the chief secretary. And thereby, even if the escort is there, they are not that effective. Therefore, I think until the president's rule is imposed, the normal constitutional function should be allowed. That is, Article 154 should be allowed to function. That should not be violated. And Article 163, that is, the governor should act on the advice of the Council of Ministers and Chief Minister. But that is being violated. And I shall agree with some of the predecessor speaker that the security forces have to be a little forceful in not causing harm, but they should be firm, gentle but firm.